Ladies and gentlemen, here's the motherfucking tea.
So, do you think that T is scolding, or do you just think it's like just water hitting her in the face? It's up to you.
I've never actually watched our intro. I didn't realize that
Oh.
we got to start with that. That's fun.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
we
did.
start with Connor every time.
Oh, yeah. No, it's
Honestly, it's been off the kettle for so long, and those like teapots do not hold like heat incredibly well. That is a ceramic one, so it probably holds it a bit better, but
yeah.
I don't know.
It's probably lukewarm at that point.
They had to carry it all the way up to the roof to do that, so
Hey,
probably not that hot.
You know,
had
he
a
has
journey.
he has the ability to use his like little air jumping thing. He might have just jumped all the way up there with it.
Do you think he can use that to like insulate the like liquid inside better, like create a little air cushion at the bottom and top so like it doesn't touch the walls and like kind of stays its own thing?
Screw you. I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. But it was my idea. Fuck you.
Here's what I'm going to say. He probably
I claim
could.
it.
I don't think he would be smart enough to think of it.
Damn. Actually, I disagree.
Throwing it down.
I think he would be wholeheartedly smart enough for that. That sounds like exactly the kind of thing that he would learn to do.
He does
Plus,
seem to obsessively drink tea, so he might actually think about
he
temperature
never
control.
he never breaks it because like anytime he does, like, oh crap, soft floor, poing, haha.
Cool. Now I'm not so blown out. My my other monitor has nothing but pure white, so now the only one here is totally blown out is Nick.
You know me.
He's blowing up over there.
It's these pearly whites. It's how I white balance.
So, fun fact, this is halfway through the season. We're going to get a new opening next week. Nobody knows. Actually, I could probably...
Which means I'm going to have to skip the next few episodes. Like, this was the first time I was able to, like, first few, intros. I was only able to watch the intro of these last few episodes because I'm like, okay, there was the plot. Because the plots in these shows always spoil everything. Like, all the intros spoil what's happening.
Yeah, honestly, the next one's... I can't imagine what the visuals for the next one's going to be. But, yeah, so we're halfway through the season. Manga fans, make sure not to spoil anything, but we're jumping around the timeline a little bit.
Yeah, Kaiser made a comment about that before he started, like, man, the timeline's getting real screwy. I'm like, this is the only one I know, so.
Yeah.
Seems fine to me.
Okay, if it seems fine to you guys, then that's good to know. For somebody in the know, it's a little weird. New intro is by Man with the Mission? Are you fucking serious? Oh, I'm so fucking psyched. Holy shit. Oh! Okay, cool. But yeah, the intro or the timeline is a little fucky right now. But if you guys don't notice that, that's good. I'm glad to know that.
Nothing seemed odd to me.
All right. It's hard for me not to notice it, but as long as it's cool with you, then I know that they've made the right choice. I know why they're doing what they're doing, because with like the next arc, they probably just want to be able to go through all of it without having to worry about what comes afterward.
Okay.
But yeah, so
yeah, we had like a small conversation about this episode before this began, where I sat through it on Saturday thinking like, wow, like this felt like a double length episode to me with how much like how substantive it was. And then you're like, really? It felt incredibly short to me. I'm like, we watched a different episode.
Real quick, somebody in the chat did ask, did you guys watch after the credits?
I did this time.
Okay, good, because that's
an actual plot thing. I'm like,
yes.
I'm glad I stuck around this time.
Yeah, last time was not necessarily necessary. This time was necessarily necessary. So
we'll get to that. Like I said, they packed a lot into this. The entire front half of that episode was there was like a two-parter at the front half of the episode where they're dealing with the fact that Bakugo knows absolutely nothing about working in front of the media. So like they kept cutting
before
out his
that
part
we
of
even get
interviews.
before that we even get a 9 days ago flashback of a dude blowing up a city.
That's right. Yeah, like so we're really setting up for the next plot here where like the villains are starting to do shit. But hey, here are some promising new heroes. This one doesn't say much.
Yeah, I liked how Todoroki's kind of giving the polite answers for everything,
just answering everything literally.
Just like, I refuse to. What? We're not friends. Don't put those words in my mouth.
How dare you? And they kept cutting away from him from the interview, and like, I love the parts where they're allowed to be kids. Just everybody giving him shit about that and making fun of him. It's so great when you see them actually being kids sometimes.
You were
And we got a lot
interviewed
of that
for a
this
whole
episode.
hour and they didn't use a single one of your answers.
And so they had what could very easily have been a gimmicky filler episode, which would have been great for like a, hey, let's start, like, this is your start of the season episode. Let's have everybody learn how to be good on social media, so you don't get canceled.
It did feel like there was kind of like that awkward scene where everyone kind of like listed off their names, and it felt like a little bit like that.
They gave a, hey, here's the rest of them kind of a thing. Here are the ones we want to focus on.
The thing that I like about that, though, is that it does give you a moment to see how they respond to things that you don't think much about when it comes to superheroes. It's like we mentioned, it's like we talked about last week. And funny enough, I'd actually completely forgotten this scene was here. I mean, literally, when it happened, I found it very funny just to see it again, because I totally forgot. Yes, in fact, the social media with superheroes, a big thing, and answering appropriately, having, putting people at ease. I like how some of the characters are just complete naturals. And then both Bakugo and Deku have the absolute opposite problems.
It's perfect. Bakugo's way too far, like, I don't have time for this. My actions speak for me. Fuck you! And then Deku's like...
But then he gets started talking about All Might, and next thing you know,
he just goes off. Like, once you get him talking about something he's comfortable talking about, he'll talk your ear off, and then it's the complete opposite problem there as well, where it's like, oh my god, this kid won't shut up.
Yeah. Also, this episode continuing, like, whoever the director of this season is about the fan service, because the moment Mount Lady and Midnight show up, it's like, okay.
And we're gonna cut off the top of their heads for the rest of these shots, basically. We know what the focal point is, but it makes sense that they bring in Mount Lady, because from her very first introduction, she's basically a influencer hero.
Oh yeah,
like, she's there to make money, and she has been not shy about that. I mean, isn't she dating like the number 3 or 4 hero because of that?
It is rumored that they're dating. They don't. It's rumored that they're dating, but I don't know if it's
okay. So she plays into the rumor of it, though, because that raises her status.
Yeah.
And Mount Lady, all respect to her, she in it for the bank.
Hey, she knows what she's doing, and she knows how to work it.
Yeah, she'll save people, but she in it for the money. Girls got to make that dollar, make it work, slay.
I liked, though, that, like, while she was up there, like, I think Deku was kind of just noting, like, man, like, after all the stuff that's happened, like, she's kind of stepping up her game, too. Like, it's clear all of the heroes are, like, starting to take this job more seriously and being like, hey, but listen, like, stuff's about to get real, and you need to know about it.
Yeah,
and like, it was just real good.
And they even play into it being, like, because of Endeavor. It's like, his speech at the, hero ranking, whatever the hell it was, just watch me. And then he goes out and he does this big bombastic fireball where he saves the day, he saves a whole city. And everybody's like, you know what? Yeah, we all have to step up our game. If, like, he's leading by example, we have to do that. We don't have Superman, we don't have All Might coming in to swoop in and save all of our asses anymore.
It's all thanks to Look Boy. We all know where to look.
Mm-hmm. We all love Look
that
Boy.
That kid's definitely a meme in that world.
We all love Look Boy, aka the main character from Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know if you noticed this, but they look.
Is he Itadaki?
He looks exactly like it.
He looks like him. I didn't know if it was the actor.
The fairy tale guy.
It just. Oh, actually, he kind of does look like
a bit,
fairy tale guy too. It's the pink spiky hair, but for me, when I saw him, I was like, that looks like Itadaki. Is it Itadaki?
I think so.
Wow, I love that show. I forgot Itadaki's fucking name.
I like that show, but it was really tough for me to keep track of names in it for some reason.
I don't keep track of a lot of proper nouns in anime.
Itadori. Oh my god. Oh,
see, I was wrong too, and this it's like my second favorite anime right now.
I love him. It's just Anyway, point being, so this episode starts off with a hell of a hint at what's going on with the villains. Gives us the interviews with Mount Lady. Also talks about the fact that they're going to restart the internship program.
Yep, which was like the second half of the first half of the episode where they're having that meeting amongst the teachers talking about, getting this thing rolling. Because look, the world is dangerous right now. That's why we need these kids to learn how dangerous it is.
They also briefly bring up the mole topic again, where they're like, "Hey, by the way, we've it's been months since the kids have been in the dorms. Doesn't seem like anything suspicious. So if there was a leak or something, we don't think it's coming from the students."
Right.
But they're like worried about it because since they're opening up the internships again, it's like, okay, that's where the mole will start to present itself a bit more. So.
By the way, somebody pointed this out, which is very cute. Apparently, Todd Habercorn, voice of Natsu from Fairy Tail, also played the kid in that scene in the dub. So I think that's real cute.
Wow.
I think that's
Really,
cute.
they must have had him in the booth and they needed somebody to do a few extras. So I was like, hey, there's this guy that looks like Natsu. Can you do a small child voice still, Todd?
Just hop
Yeah,
in
I
here
guess
real quick.
so.
Yeah, I'll do my best. Anyway, but yeah, the internship program is starting that back up now, but they're also like, yeah, sorry, we need heroes. Like, we super duper need heroes right now.
And a lot of these
crazy.
kids, they've been in the middle of all this shit already and have actually resolved a lot of the bigger shit. So we need them. We need them specifically. And I do want to jump over the second half of the episode just to talk about that end snippet, because this is more relevant here than it would be after talking about what is essentially the cute fan servicey part of the episode. Midori is like, since Night Eye's agency is swamped with work because he literally did all the paperwork and is dead. I'm not going there. Gran Torino isn't really accepting interns. The after credit scene is Todoroki showing up to Bakugo and Midori being like, hey, do you want to intern with my dad?
Yep.
Ooh, the number one hero.
And at this point, I feel comfortable saying, notice how the movie is about Deku, Shoto, and Bakugo? Yeah, that's because this next arc is going to
Heavily involve them.
Heavily involve them, yes.
Well, no kidding. They are literally the top three probably in that whole school right now, regardless of age.
Yeah, actually, funny enough, they probably are the top three. At least in their,
it's the new big three.
Look,
would they top Sun Eater? Would they top the?
I think
laser hair girl.
I think yes. I think based on what we have seen, they are above the power scaling of both of them. They might have more hero knowledge and strategy to kind of beat them, which we were kind of seeing during the filler episode that we had in the beginning.
Yeah,
but without freaking Mirio, without Lemillion, the top three are.
Honestly, I like Sun Eater enough. I think Nejire is also super cute, but they are those two characters I feel like have gotten way less in like actual development. Where especially Nejire, where Mirio got a whole
I
fucking
feel like I
arc.
forget her all the time.
Yeah,
And
Mirio got that whole, Mirio got that whole arc dedicated to him with a power that. Like with the other two, they've got a lot of cool things that they can do, but Lemillion kind of took his power to an insane extent. Like what he's done with it is like turned what is an otherwise very conventional power and gone nuts with it. So it's been really
he goes full Martian Manhunter. Like he can phase through things. Like he is insanely good. Like I greatly anticipate the day that he gets his powers back. Please don't tell me he never does, because that's impossible. Eri is set up for that exact reason.
Well, I'm definitely never gonna say what's gonna happen in the future. So
I know.
But so something else that happened. What's up with Best Genus?
Yeah, I was curious about that.
I like that.
They kind of just flashed that, but like he's like currently missing, or was that a flashback? I wasn't sure.
He was wounded during the because they were talking to Bakugo about, hey, are you going to go intern with him again? Which means he's probably on the mend.
No,
after
in that scene, he's missing.
Oh, he's still missing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I misread that.
I couldn't remember exactly how he ended up, because I knew that like he had been.
I thought he was
injured.
dead. I thought he was dead
like,
the first time we saw him down. I'm like, oh shit, the number.
Yeah, because it was
the
a
number
big
3 hero.
hit.
Yeah. He's missing.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
So yeah,
that's,
I wasn't quite sure what that meant.
that better explains Bakugo's attitude towards the whole situation.
Also, I really liked the little flashback with Bakugo and Genus, like how he
Yeah.
was talking to him. I thought that was really good.
Yeah,
And-
one day you'll understand what's going on, and once you get your license, come back and intern for me again. I want to talk to you.
Want to
Like,
see
I
how
want to
you
hear
progressed.
I want to see how you progressed, and I want to ask you what your name is then.
I'm so fucking like, I'm so sad that Japanese just does not like the Japanese joke with his name. It's actually
Yeah.
really funny in the Japanese version.
I listened for it this time. I'm like, you know what? I can see what they were doing there.
Yeah, and it actually makes sense in Japanese, where in English he's just saying these like words, and it's like no.
Yeah.
And I even sat down and tried to come up with like
Yeah.
clever.
How would you?
No,
Baka boom is my first thought.
yeah, but even then you're still losing a lot of it. Because that I think that really came down to when Horikoshi was writing out Bakugo's name. He knew what he could do with it. Where just in English, nope, that ain't fucking working at all.
Kind of like how the my Deku means this doesn't really translate incredibly well into English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you run into a lot of issues, which, I think it's one of the reasons that there are sub purists out there. They're like, look, you got to watch this, but even then the subtitles don't really do proper translation either. So,
well yeah, because the subtitle's not going to pull a Kaizoku fan subs and like Nakama means like
therefore you
blank and-
either
little
learn the
asterisk up
language or
there.
accept it.
Yeah, unfortunately, when it comes to a lot of these things, like I feel like especially with shonen like this, where they try to really get clever with it, there's just a lot of essential reading to really truly understand what's going on, which is kind of fun in its own right. Like if you really get into something and then you do some reading, and then something that you liked gets elevated by facts that you just wouldn't have understood otherwise, that's kind of cool. But it also really kind of shows that like there's stuff here that you're just frankly never going to get.
Yeah, there are
just
some things
watching
that
it dry.
there are some things like certain idioms and things like that that literally are so ingrained in the society that they can't translate. Puns are a big example. It's very difficult to translate certain like countries' puns to another language. Like that's the biggest example I can think of. But like idioms, certain cultural things you can kind of like pass on. Like when I was a kid, I had to learn that when somebody's nose was bleeding, it meant that they were aroused. Or when somebody sneezed, it's because somebody was talking about them behind their back. You pick up on the little thing, the little cultural things, but the bigger things, the deep ingrained stuff just do not translate properly.
I will say, the first time I ever heard the word baka? It was while I was watching Dragon Ball on the international channel, a channel that was in the US, I think might still be on, but back in the day when I was a wee lad, maybe 11, 10, maybe younger than that, it aired Japanese Dragon Ball, no subtitles, just Japanese Dragon Ball. And as I was watching, it was after Vegeta uses his like multi-blast on second form Frieza, and he's like, baka. And I'm like, that means an insult. And I look it up and I'm like, yep, it's idiot.
Just to talk a little bit about my own Japanese studies, I've been trying to go back and rewatch through like a series that I've already watched before, minus subtitles, just to see how much I can remember and into it through the scene. I've been rewatching Yu Yu Hakusho, no subtitles, just Japanese dialogue.
Damn.
And I've been able to keep up on some things, and it's actually helped me in a lot of areas.
Yu Yu Hakusho is one of those shows where I still love its dub, but wow, those scripts are not even close sometimes.
I switched over to the dub for some, because I remember loving the dub. I still do in a lot of ways. I love Sabat as Kuwabara. I love Justin Cook as Yusuke. Like the main cast is great.
Yeah.
But then like some of those scripts, they use a lot of things that would be considered slurs these days.
Also
just because that was the way of the time.
Oh yeah.
They use derogatory words for mentally disabled people quite a bit in that dub, and I think they use a derogatory word for like homosexuality a couple of times too. It's crazy, but
that's
That's a
It's
thing.
teens
That's
being teens talking.
Yeah,
though.
that's
it's
more
it's
of
a, it's a product. It's a product of its time, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But-
there are other things like far from that. Like there are just some translation things that are like,
Yeah,
why did you change?
just a little.
Yeah, but anyway,
Yeah, I've been
completely
it's-
off.
Yeah, completely off tangent. But it is a cool way to try to test your skills in learning Japanese or some other language.
Actually, fun fact: back when I was learning it, I was actually taking Death Note and translating it from the manga, because in a lot of shonen manga, I don't know any kanji, but I know hiragana and katakana, and
Right.
they in all those shonen manga, whenever they have a kanji there, they have-
Kanji, they will put the katakana and hiragana above it.
which is called furigana. And so I actually translated the first couple of chapters from Japanese into English with the help of a friend, and yeah, that's back when I was learning. Like, because there's nothing that teaches you a language more than just immersing yourself in it, having to reason through it. Because once you've reasoned through
Figure it
something,
out.
once you figured it out, it suddenly becomes a
Your
part.
brain's easier to put it together.
Yeah, because it's already made the connections. It's already done the work. It's not just being told, hey, Kurama means car. It's, this is a car, and then here's the word Kurama. Figure it out.
And to branch this, to segue back into My Hero, speaking of cultural divides and things that span culture and translation, the Christmas section of this episode,
Oh,
super goddamn cute, and I think this will be very easy for the dub to switch over and just be super adorable because Eri, oh my god, my heart!
I warned you.
goddamn heart!
I warned you about
Heart's
Eri,
getting
bro. I warned you.
You did warn me, but it wasn't enough. She came in. This is her first holiday. She's walking in there like trick or treat. I'm like,
treat.
ah, ah! I painted these eggs. Ah!
Nice.
My heart!
I didn't quite get the what was the there was like the holiday that was coming up in like a couple weeks or something that she referenced. I can't remember exactly what she said. But it was the only holiday that I wasn't quite sure which one they were talking about.
Oh,
I think it was a New Year's thing.
Wouldn't have been. He said 2 months
okay.
away.
Well, I
Okay.
think it was like what wasn't it like? It had to be some sort of spring festival, right? Like
Yeah, she
2
was throwing the
months-
beans. That's what it was.
Setsubun, apparently.
Okay.
I don't know what Setsubun is, but it's apparently a holiday.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, it's in February. And okay, it's a seasonal like okay.
Doesn't that line up with Chinese New Year somewhat? A little bit?
I mean, maybe, but it doesn't have any connection apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
it's,
yeah.
Oh, well, apparently it's the beginning of spring in the old calendar in Japan. That's why.
Ah, okay. The shifting of the seasons. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Harvest time.
Yep. But
Yeah,
very
super goddamn cute. Also, the song that they played during the montage, I could put that on the radio. That song fucking slapped, man.
That was cute as fuck. What
was.
that fucking holiday pop song? All in actual full-on English, by the way.
Yeah,
like
very, very good English.
yeah.
It felt very like it rang very true of like the Beach Boys' Christmas, having a wonderful Christmas time.
Yeah,
I was like, I could hear that playing in a freaking mall somewhere, just in the background. That song was like actually like
Just a nice little earworm.
yeah.
I'm definitely. Oh, go
Oh,
ahead.
God.
No, you go ahead. I've been cutting you off a lot.
I was gonna say my favorite part about the Christmas segment was the little detail in everybody's hats. They all had little things representing their powers, and it was really fun.
They had the animators had so much fun with just those little details, like the way they decorated the tree, the presents everybody got, and you can tell they were just like, okay, have fun, make this very like character centric. I'm sure some of that was from the manga, but still.
Every with the Buster Sword made me laugh a lot.
Yeah, that was good.
Also, I like that you can tell whose gift is from who.
Yeah, the little All Might thing was definitely a Deku gift. Trying to remember which other ones there were.
It's one of those things where I actually wanted to go back and rewatch it again because it is you could make one of those
Lots of little
breakdown. You
details.
could make one of those breakdown YouTube videos with the red circles and the arrows telling you the 23 things you missed from the Christmas montage in My Hero.
I loved how they shouted out how Sugar Man can cook real food too.
Mhm.
Like they're just like, by the way, doesn't only make sweets.
Yeah, that's really cute, and I swear I love these characters, especially scenes like this, because you always get those moments with the side characters where in battle they're a little bit like, okay, can they be of use here? But in private, they're always great.
The slice of life stuff really hits home for most of these characters.
Yeah.
I agree.
Also, I don't know if I've pointed this out, but when it comes to Coda, is it Coda?
Animal Boy.
Animal guy?
Yeah, when it comes to Animal
I
Guy.
think he's Coda.
Yeah, Coda, not Kota, who's another
Kota
guy.
Kota was the kid with the murdered parents, I think.
Yeah.
I had a dog named Coda. It's how I keep it real.
They made Coda way cuter over the when he first
They've
shows up.
softened those weird edges that he has.
Yeah, they softened all of it, and now he's got this kind of like weird muzzle face that's way cuter when you look at him, because he used to be like kind of like taller and more like flatter in the face, and he kind of looked a little creepy. But yeah, no, they've gone way out of their way to make his eyes bigger and just generally make him like kind of adorable, actually.
The
We
biggest
don't need
issue
you
with
thinking
him,
he's a rock man.
yeah, exactly. You look at him and you think, oh, his power is rocks. But then you have somebody else in the class whose power,
power
is
is
rocks. So
Which I also like that when Deku stiffened up on stage, he's like, "When did Deku learn my hardening?" Was
Yeah.
a good little bit.
Yeah, very, very cute little joke. I also love how he looks like a fucking Lego character.
Was Minecraft Deku?
yeah,
Yeah.
like that was a great animation choice.
You gotta really give it to the actor for Deku there too, like really killing the squeaky.
And I'm sure Briner will kill it too. Like Briner's
Also,
great.
totally skipped over it. How he used the black whip power thing or whatever.
Yes. Oh man, where he finally did it. He's like,
Okay, I do want to say this. That part takes place later in the manga. It is a little bit weird to go straight from I can't use this. Okay, it's been 2 weeks. Now I'm gonna use it.
I think it's fine the way they did it though, because it's
Yeah.
it's been a couple of weeks and clearly he's been trying. Like this would be the one thing he's focusing on.
And
So
we
if
had
he's
that
just
like,
gonna
training segment last episode.
yeah, so if he's just gonna put out a little spoot.
Did it not? Sorry, I could have sworn that that segment took place later. Maybe I'm
No.
wrong. If I'm
Either
wrong,
way.
then I'm dumb and lame.
I love that he focuses so deeply. He's like, okay, and I throw it out there, and he's like, I did it! Fuck yeah! And everybody's like, and then Bakugo just yelling at him like, that's not something to be proud of, asshole! Perfect.
Okay,
Stop
everybody's
cheering yourself
reaction was
on for this
great.
garbage.
okay, so I was right. Okay, it does actually take place later. Okay, but yeah, it is a really cute. It's a really cute scene. I am like, it is really cool. That I don't know, but like it's still such a weird addition for Deku. Black Whip after Super
Yeah,
Strength.
I think Grant and I talked about this a lot in the episode that you were trapped in the Shadow Realm for.
Yeah.
But it's this idea of, okay, so instead of just getting gear to do what he's going to want to do, the Black Whip is obviously going to be something that he's going to be able to like kind of Spider-Man around with, grab things, you know, it's going to be a mobility tool, I think, more than a lot of other things. But we started thinking about what other powers do we think are in there? Obviously, no spoilers for anyone that you might be aware of, but what other powers do you think he might have that will be a utility for him moving forward? Obviously, All Might didn't have one to drop in there. All Might didn't have a quirk, as he said.
Right.
But there are at least, 6 other quirks in there somewhere?
Something like that.
It was, I can't remember how many vestiges there were.
I'm having trouble remembering myself.
The first one, Deku and All Might did not have quirks. So we're 3 down, essentially. If the rest of them had quirks, then he is, I think they even mentioned that there were like 6 to learn in total. So we started thinking about what would be some ones that would be very interesting for him to have and things that would play into Slice of Life. One of the things I thought, X-ray vision, because you know that he'd accidentally do it and be like, really embarrassed. And Minato would be like, you tell me everything, you son of a bitch.
That's really funny, actually. Mostly because I was literally just thinking if he got X-ray vision, and then Minato's like,
he'd accidentally do it. I'm sorry.
Whoops. I still think that there's got to be some level of like, which I guess X-ray vision would work, but something for like intel gathering, something like, some sort of detection or radar kind of thing of just like knowing exactly when trouble's happening, so you can show up right away.
Like he'll get a spidey sense or something. Yeah, X-ray vision makes a lot of sense to me because he'll be able to like see through things, see through rubble, see if something's going on. I think he'll get like a small slate of Superman powers. But I do not want him to get flights. I really hope he can't fly at a certain point, because then you're getting
having
too
creative
DBZ.
movement options. Speaking of DBZ, though, I could also see just like this might just be a function of all for or one for all, basically, but just a sense heightening, like just like you can now see better, hear better. You will be able to just detect things better than normal kind of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, flight in general is something that he already can kind of do if he can control like all for one just by kicking off of the air. So to have him actually fly would be kind of wonky. I see your fucking face. There's something, something.
Well, I do. I know everything.
I know. You know everything.
Like
that's up
I am as they said, the holder of the forbidden knowledge. And whether or not you're right or wrong about anything, I'm not going to hint at one way or the other. Although I guess I did hint at maybe the X-ray vision's not exactly right, but.
Well, I think something akin to that, at least. X-ray vision was one that I thought would be kind of funny if he got like revealed with it, and the slice of life stuff is where I think that one comes in funnier than anything else.
I like how a lot of people are...
Oh, go ahead. What we don't realize is like one of Deku's latest or final powers is going to be one of those powers that like really like reshapes how he looks, and he like just becomes this like grotesque monster man, because it's also been upped by One for All. So it's just insane like, well, it turned the original holder into kind of like a dog face, but now you've got this weird just Cerberus thing growing out of you. You're gonna be a really ugly hero, but you're gonna be great with those dog powers.
Just turns into Tetsuo from Akira.
Yeah, it's like it's supposed to make your arm like more muscly, but it gets a little tentacle-y. Now it's
now you just absorb everything around you.
You were a nightmare. Sorry.
Oh, this is bad. We have to put him down.
The original wielder had like a Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing, and giving that the old all for one treatment.
Womp womp. Yeah. This was a very cute episode, a very cute bridge episode, and like I said, packed. This might be one of the like better non-action episodes this season. Possibly the best non-action episode this season.
Yeah, it's super cute, super introspective. It's like explorative with the characters anyway. And it's setting up for something really cool. Like, it's interesting that we're getting this so quickly for me, but I'm more than happy because the next stuff we're about to see is also very cool. It's not what I thought we were gonna get next, though. But hey, whatever, let's do it. Let's because I think, as somebody pointed out in the chat, they're doing this specifically because they have the movie coming out, and they're like, we have to set up this dynamic now.
Do it now. Yeah, I'm happy with what we got. I'm excited for next week. I'm excited to move on to the next half of the season.
Yeah,
and I'm surprised we're like already halfway there, man.
I should point out, like, yeah, apparently a whole city did get wiped out. We didn't talk about that much, but a whole city got wiped out.
Yeah, they kind of touch on it, and they keep bringing it up throughout, and it's kind of like the prelude to something bigger. Like, they keep kind of just saying, like, we didn't know it at the time. We thought we were just cool and relaxing, but something bad was brewing.
They've been good about...
I feel like the show is that as a whole, basically. It's just, you can always assume something bad's brewing in this universe, and then we're just waiting to find it.
Horikoshi's been very good about revealing that side of his hand, like very slowly. Like, hey, there's this guy that lives out in the woods who listens to a radio a lot. He's kind of big and creepy. Also, he plays into Mina's backstory. Isn't that something? And like, you got all this stuff slowly being drip fed to you, where now it's all kind of culminating, and we're finally getting something here.
I'm looking forward to it myself.
Yeah.
I also like that, like, with the news stuff, they were also bringing up like how citizens would normally be a lot more critical or something, but like everyone's kind of turning around on this, like, no, hey, we get it. Like, you guys, like, it's going to be tough, but we're here for you. We want you to be tough. Please keep working hard. We appreciate it.
I do have a question for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Did you recognize who that was at the beginning?
It was a silver-haired guy.
The only silver-haired dude I know is the fucking dissolve dude, but
Shigaraki.
yeah, Shigaraki. Was
Yeah.
that him?
I mean,
Yeah, like
it's hard to not notice that it's him to me anyway.
It looked a lot like him. I'm just not used to him without the big hand mask.
I'm not gonna lie. They immediately cut to the dudes that Bakugo and Todoroki beat, and I thought it was supposed to be him. And I was like, he doesn't look anything like it. Then like when I watched it again, I was like, oh wait, okay, this is definitely a different dude.
Yeah, no,
But we hardly ever see Shigaraki without the hands on his face, so I think it's really hard to.
Yeah, the only thing that told me that it was probably him was the fact that the building was destroyed. He's looking at his hands like, look what I just fucking did. I wasn't really listening to the voice super hard. I mean, that probably would have given it away.
That's
but
fair.
yeah, I'm interested to see what comes next, and I'm excited for next week. But what about everybody at home? What about everybody in the chat? I've been actively avoiding chat because I've said a lot of things that can spring spoilers.
Luckily, chat, you have been very good. You have been like, and
Bravo.
I'm proud of you. Like,
You're proud of you, chat. You show a lot of restraint to this poor bastard.
Yes. But yeah, again, as Nick said, what do you guys think? For you anime onlys, post your possible powers for Deku down in the comments.
Your
but also
hero
be wary
loadout.
Yeah, but be careful because we don't know if the YouTube comments are going to be as nice as chat
as
is.
kind.
So, give us your ideas for what the rest of Deku's powers are.
And always make sure to spoiler tag if you do know.
Yeah, and if you do know, then don't even respond. Okay, don't even respond. Just
But
be
do
nice.
say hi. Say
Yeah,
hi.
no, yeah. Just come in, say hi. Tell
love
us tell us how bad we are at getting our details right.
It's horrific.
Yeah, no, we're always
we're
usually
we're never going to correct ourselves, but we will take that information with stride that we know that we're wrong.
Someday I'll think ahead and take notes when I watch an episode, but not this day.
I was in bed, barely awake, watching it. There's no way I was taking notes. I didn't take notes in class, and I won't take notes now.
You can't make me.
But everybody,
It's
you
true.
have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next Monday with a new opening from fucking Man on a Mission. I'm so fucking psyched! Anyway, all y'all take care. Bye.